Having worked with over 300 business coaching clients at this point, one pattern that I've identified with the new business journey is people struggle with confirming the niche that they want to work in and what product or service to sell, i.e. the business idea. I've been at the business idea generation stage a number of times, and when I first did it, I really struggled. But I've done it 4 or 5 times now, and each time I perfected my strategy. Firstly, for confirming the niche that is right for me, and secondly, to confirm the most effective product or service to sell within that niche. And if you don't know who I am, I'm Michael J, and I quit my job almost 6 years ago now, and ever since I've been building businesses. And it is my absolute passion and calling in life to teach as many people how to do the same thing. And in this video, I'm going to show you the strategy and the steps you can take to find your business idea. Okay, so the first step in this strategy to find your business idea is to start with your passions, hobbies, or interests. And I see it far too often where people will start with something that they've seen online, on a video, wherever, and they've seen other people doing well at it, and they just jump in thinking, I just want to do well, rather than choosing something that they've got some kind of passion or liking for, which is extremely important, and I'll go through all the reasons why very shortly. But don't get me wrong, that can work. I've seen people go into something because they just wanted to make some money, and eventually they've started to get a liking for it and a passion for it, but that is very few and far between. Take it from someone who's done that personally, and again, just worked with over 300 business coaching clients that have most made that mistake. So why start with something that you've got some passion in, or it's a hobby or interest? Well, the obvious answer is that you like it. And so if you like it, you're much more geared up to have motivation and drive to work harder and longer in it. And also, if you've got knowledge in that area already, you're just 5-10 steps ahead. And so you will just be able to navigate through all of the knowledge and start building a much deeper knowledge base in that area. And you'll probably know who the main influencers are, which is very important for the next stage of this strategy. And because you've already got knowledge and a passion for this thing, it's going to be much easier for you to navigate through all of the information, and it's going to be much more fun, right? And yeah, so it's just going to be much easier and quicker for you to navigate through all of that information and find your business idea. And what you'll also probably have is a very basic understanding of what products and services there are out there within that particular niche, and a very basic knowledge of how much those products and services cost. And you'll also know a very basic understanding of where these products are sold. And all those points together are super important for you creating a business within that particular niche. And just a final point on this, it doesn't need to be in a passion, hobby, or interest. You might not have any, and that's fine. It does massively help if you do, but don't worry if you don't, because there will be something out there that'll eventually lead you on to something that you do have a passion for. And something to help with that is just think 3 years down the line. What do you want your lifestyle to be? If you want it to be traveling around the world, earning money while you sleep and travel and have fun, then it's probably going to be an online business, potentially quite a passive business. So again, that's giving us some guidance to where you're eventually going to be and what products and services you're going to sell. Okay, so now we have our starting point, albeit a very loose starting point. What we now need to do is start the long and most of the time quite tedious process of digging deep and immersing ourselves in that particular niche. And we call this process the research phase, because we are going to be digging deep, as I said before, researching, finding information, and we are going to just get lost and knees deep in that particular niche to find as much information as possible, build up a knowledge base so we're getting closer to that business idea. And just to reiterate, this process is not going to be quick. It's going to be long. And a lot of people actually fail and quit at this point because it gets to a point after a few months and like, I've not found anything, why not? Oh, sack that, I'm not doing this, it's over. But just to put things into perspective, every time I've been at this process and at this stage, it took me around 3 to 6 months on average. At times, it's taken me 9 months to finally get to the point where I know what business idea I've got and what products and services I'm gonna sell. And obviously, it's gonna depend on how much work you're gonna be putting in. If you're gonna be putting in 2 hours of work a week, it's gonna take you a year, probably even longer, to finally get to that point where you know what you're gonna do. But if you're putting in 2 or 3 hours every single day, then it's possible to do it within a few months. But regardless of that, obviously we need to get stuck into the work. And where we're gonna start is our trusty friend, Google. And what we're gonna be doing there is asking questions around that particular niche on business ideas, where to find this, how to do this, type of businesses in that, and that's the start of our process. And that sounds super simple and a little bit woolly, but at the end of the day, we've got to start somewhere. And if you've not got any idea, this process and this stage in the whole strategy is probably going to feel a little bit uncomfortable and you're going to be wondering what the hell you're doing. But take it from someone that's done this 4 or 5 times at this point. That's where I start every single time, by just asking questions on Google within that particular niche, and it will give you prompts, sites and links to areas where you can start digging deep and starting that research. And the type of areas where it's going to lead you is things like YouTube. You're going to be watching a lot of YouTube videos. You need to confirm who the main players are in that particular niche. You need to be following them, watching content, and we're watching content for educational purposes, not like the 95% of the population who would do it for entertainment. We're doing it for education. And we're going to be in areas such as Twitter, again, following all the main players and some of the smaller players, just building a little bit of a network within that particular niche on Twitter is extremely important actually, because you can start asking questions, you can start little chats with people, you can find out what's going on in terms of trends within that particular niche. And most of the time, people post daily, so you can be literally knees deep within that particular niche every day. And there's obviously things like Instagram, TikTok, things like that, but you want to be in Discord groups, you want to be in community type of groups, whether that's Slack, Discord, and by that you're building up your network again, you're building up your knowledge, because people communicate on there on a regular basis. You can ask questions and they will get back to you, and you can speak to other people within that particular niche and they will speak to you. And while you're doing all this, it's going to feel a little bit strange, to be honest, almost like you're playing around. But remember, all this work is gearing towards finding that business idea. So it is work that you're actually doing here. So always keep in mind that this is a process of gathering information and knowledge. I'd highly recommend making notes. If you've got Mac, you've got notes on there. You've got Microsoft Word and things like that. Wherever is comfortable for you and most known for you and that you like, just make notes. Very important to do that. Don't just be doing things for 2 or 3 months and then think, okay, what now? You need to be making notes all the way through. And so let's say you've done this for 3 months. What you're gonna have is not only a little network built up, you're gonna know who the main players are, what products and services are sold, how much those products and services are sold for, and where those products and services are sold and bought. So now we have our niche and we've been researching heavily. The best way to confirm your business idea, in my opinion, is to buy your competition's products and services, which seems really counterproductive and weird, but take it from someone again that's done this many times before. It has massively helped me structure and create my businesses and products and services. And what I personally do is not just buy products and services from one business or influencer out there in that niche. I buy it from 2 to 3 out there. Because if you just get it from one, imagine that that one person's just rubbish, but they're making a lot of money, because there are a lot of people out there that are selling rubbish products and are making a lot of money. You're gonna be basing potentially your future products just on that one rubbish influencer or business. So getting multiple businesses and influencers products, you're gonna get an average of what's out there in the market. And what this is gonna do for you is, obviously, firstly, you know what content is being put out there. So it's gonna give you confidence to know whether you're doing the right or the wrong thing. Because when you're first starting out something, your confidence levels are very low in your abilities and what you're putting out there. It has been for me anyway, and a lot of business coaching clients that I speak to. But once you buy what's out there, you think, oh, actually, that's not very good, and they're actually doing very well. So then it gives you other ideas on how to improve on what's out there. And it just gives you confidence to keep going with that business idea. And that little confidence boost of knowing what's out there and knowing that you can improve on it is absolutely massive. It's done me and a lot of my business coaching clients the world of good. It's made the difference between getting going with it and not. And if you know that you're putting something out there valuable, because I know a lot of people struggle with actually selling things and taking people's money, but if you know what's out there is rubbish, you're improving on it and offering real world value that can help change people's lives, again, that's just a game changer. It's going to give you so much confidence to keep going, to put the right products out there. Okay, so at this point, we should now be ready to start creating our own business ideas. We've done so much work up to this point, 3, 6, 9 months of really digging deep, getting our competition's products, really researching and getting lost in Discords, asking questions on Twitter. And so we're ready at this point. And this is the final phase, which we are calling the brainstorming phase, where we are going to brainstorm ideas to finally get to that business idea and what products and services we're going to sell. And this is going to be where we're going to be actually writing down ideas. And you've been at school, college or uni before, where you've done like a bubble in the middle and you've written down what particular area you want to brainstorm from. It's pretty much similar to that. And you're just going to keep going off, veering off, adding new ideas, little sub ideas, businesses, products, services, and we're going to have a bag of ideas at the end of it for you to choose from. And the reason why I highlighted that we need to actually write this down is because this is going to be the anchor for our business going forward. We don't want it in our heads. We want it in one place that we can go to consistently and keep building on it over time. So firstly, what I recommend is to write all of the business ideas, products and services that your competition are selling, all of the influencers out there and businesses that you've been following for the last 3, 6, 9 months. And included in that, you want to write the pricing points and you want to write where these are being sold or where they can be bought from. Then what I recommend is to write on a piece of paper, however you want to do it. Everyone does it a little bit differently. You might want to draw it on a big A3 paper, or you might want to do it on your computer, whatever you want to do. That's totally up to you. But you want to break down your niche into the areas and points of sale. So that is basically the different touch points and areas that make that particular industry work. And I'm just going to cover a very quick example just to give you an idea, to give you some pointers. And that niche is going to be the horse riding industry. And I'm no expert in the horse riding industry, but I wrote some ideas down just to show you how kind of easy this is to get going in any particular niche. So firstly, you've got stables, right? Could you own stables? Could you rent them out to people? Could you look after stables for other people? Could you offer your services for stables? And obviously there are riding lessons. You can offer riding lessons. You could offer them at your particular location near the stables, or you could offer a mobile service out to customers' homes. Then we've got physical products such as horse food, horse riding equipment, and horse riding clothing, because you might be the type of person where you don't want to deal with a member of public, right? You just want to be in the background selling products and let your business run like that, and that's absolutely fine. Then you have got horse care services where you can look after horses, whether that's in some kind of veterinary type of thing or just more looking after the actual horses, and they can again bring them to your stables if that was what you've got, or you could go out there and look after the horses in other people's stables. Then we've got horse buying and selling. You might want a horse selling and buying agency There are so many things in each niche. And you've even got things like horse racing. Do you want to be a horse racer? Do you want to sell horse races? Do you want to train horse racers? Again, the list is endless. And I literally have no clue on horse riding. I have never been a horse rider, and this took me 10, 15 minutes to idea generate. So now you've got kind of a big bag of business potential ideas. What we now need to do is write down the prices of all those. How much do they sell for? Where are they sold? Where can you buy? Again, just giving you a really nice all-round picture of those products and services, how much they're sold, and where you can potentially sell them, which is leading you on to what you really want to do, because eventually you're going to pick one of these and all this information is just going to paint that picture for your favorite one. So that is it, guys. That's pretty much how you find your business idea. And that was in, a few steps in a video, but just to reiterate, this is going to take you a long time to do. It's going to be very tough, especially if you don't have a hobby, passion, or interest. But if I can do it, you can do it too. Just follow these steps, take note of this strategy very carefully, follow it, and you will not go far wrong. So if you did take value from this video, as always, please like it, please subscribe, and until next time,